Nepnum is not responsible for anything said and all things are alleged.
Hey yo, this see where ass go, and you watching Coffee with KL.
She got a body for sure, the one that you buy at the store. We might have to ride Dior, like get it and try on some more. We in the spot, you know it's some.
Hey, what up? This see where ass go, and I'm back with another episode Coffee with KL. Just for a minute though, I've been moving and grooving, doing music, but right now we about to watch Shannon, Sharpe, and Stephen A. talk about Skip Bayless. You already know if you ain't roll up, you're fucked up. Let's get into it.
We both worked with Skip.
Yeah.
You worked with him, I think, a little longer than I have, and we both have given him credit for opening up his platform and allowing us to be who we are, and we could grow our own platforms, become, as you mentioned earlier, businesses of ourselves. What's for the people? I don't know how many people have heard, and I'm gonna follow up after you.
Sure.
Skip, what's he really like? Because I think the thing is, if you've never met him, you just see him on television, you say, okay, that's him and who he is.
Skip's a different beast. I don't know if you can just describe him in one simple way.
You can't.
You can't. This dude's definition of advice is Diet Mountain Dew. This dude was in the 60s and in the 70s running anywhere from 5 to 8 miles a day. Eating the same meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Introducing himself to his now wife and their first date, you will never be more important than my job. Get over that from now or don't bother. I mean, that's his definition of turning her on, I guess. So I'm like, I'm just like, he's a different animal.
Right.
You know, and there are highs and lows that come with him.
Correct.
He knows that. There's highs and lows that come with me. There's highs and lows that come with you and everybody else. And that's the way it goes. But, you know, I'm a man first. And it's about a core decency of appreciation. The reality is that no matter how problematic, and he can be problematic at times, no matter how problematic he can be, the reality is that I wouldn't be where I am today if he didn't give me that opportunity on First Take. And so for me to be where I am, and to know that it springboards off of something that he was directly involved in making happen. For me to insult him in any way is just disrespectful, it's wrong, and it's something that I would never do. Now, that don't mean I can't disagree with him.
Oh, absolutely.
That doesn't mean that I can't feel that he's wrong. And anybody like a Jamie Horowitz, yourself, and others who know me, have gotten to know me in your case, you know I would tell him he's wrong to his face.
Right.
He knows where I stand. But it doesn't take away my love and appreciation for him and the fact that he will always be a brother from another mother to me.
Yeah.
So I've always made that clear with everybody.
Yeah, it's not often that someone can give you that opportunity. And I've said this several times. For me, I cannot let 6 months ruin 6.5 good years.
Right.
Because sometimes people are willing to throw everything away for one mistake, or one bad comment, or one something like this.
Right.
And even though that was all we were supposed to get, my sister tells me this all the time. Say, Shannon, this was all we're supposed to get. If I about 4 months ago, I had Tabitha Brown.
She's great. I've interviewed her before. She's fantastic.
Stephen A. She had no idea this was going on, so we wrapped the interview, and I'm gonna end it on this one. And I'm taking off my microphone. She says, is the mics off? I said, well, I'm taking my mic off. You can take yours off. We took our mics off, and she leans in close to me. She said, I had a dream last night. God told me it's going to be okay, and for you to go ahead and do what you need to do. She says, it's going to be different, but you need to go on your own.
Yeah.
Now, God told me that. She said, now you do what you want to do with it.
Right.
But God she said, and when I get dreams like this and I'm ever in the person's presence, it's my duty to tell them. A month later.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, when she's telling me this, Stephen A., you see how you looking at me? I'm looking at her. How you know what's going on?
Right.
She said, God told me this last night.
Yeah.
And it's funny that I'm sitting here doing this interview. I did this interview with you, and I needed to tell you this. Once she told me that, I was at peace. Because I'm racking my brain. I'm like, what did I do? Did I say something? Did I offend somebody? I mean, I think I'm doing a great job. She said, be at peace with it.
Yeah. And that's what I told you.
You did.
That's what I told you. Because the reality of the situation is that, you know, I'm not going to apologize. Listen, I got a lot of friends over there. all right? We all know that. I know a lot of people. But that don't mean that what happened to you was fair. Plain and simple, okay? That ain't the end of the world.
Nope.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
And so, you know, to me, it was just important for us in this industry to stand up and say, yo, he's one of us. You can't let him go out like this. And that was it for me. It was just that simple. You go wherever you want. You want to come first take, fine. You want to go somewhere else, fine. Because I got my crew here at First Take, and I'm not trying to get rid of anybody.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to do this forever. And when it's my time to go, it's my time to go.
Right.
And it's time for somebody else to step up. But as long as I'm here, my attitude was going to be, listen, the people that have been a treasure and a tribute to this industry are the people that I'm going to do all that I can to remind folks this is what they do. I don't want to be one of those dudes that I got these platforms, First Take, and I got my podcast, and I'm doing NBA Countdown, and I got more stuff coming down the line and everything like that. And all I'm talking about is what I'm doing. It's my job to highlight what everybody else is doing too.
You one of the few, Stephen A. Because I know a lot of people that could have opportunities to help somebody, but they want to be the only ninja with money.
No, I don't want that. And I told you this, and I'll tell the audience that I told you this. I said, you might be a First Take for 1 year. You might be a First Take for years to come. It's my responsibility, and I'm dead serious. It's a heart attack. It's my responsibility to make sure that you are more successful with me than you were before you arrived.
That's what you told me.
That's my responsibility. And I'm going to make sure it happens come hell or high water. We ain't going down, brother. We only going up.
No. You know that,
That's just the way it's going to be.
You know.
That's just the way it's going to be.
Goat man coming.
That's right.
Uncle Stephen A.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
You know?
HBCU is the takeover.
You know, I ain't trying to lose.
No, we don't.
I'm never about that. Anybody that knows me ain't about that. I don't mean no disrespect to nobody. All right?
Y'all heard it.
But
that's him. As good as it gets right here. Stephen A. Smith. Monday, September 4th.
No doubt.
Hey, yo, now when it comes to this Jordan-LeBron debate, my nigga Gilbert Arenas got some shit to say, and I want y'all to watch it because the nigga made points. I fuck with Gil. I fuck with Brown.
The reason that I feel LeBron is the GOAT is because during pressure times, he still makes the actual right decision versus what us fans and the public wants him to do. You know, and that's what separates, you know, him from Jordan and Kobe, where if you give Jordan and Kobe those Cavs teams, they wouldn't have made the playoff. They wouldn't have made it to the championship because Jordan would have just averaged 60 and said, the hell with it. This is Gilbert Arenas.
Arenas for three.
About to break down the king, one and only, LeBron James. What really made me fall in love with LeBron's play was, we're in the playoffs, it was game 5, 4 minutes left. And I picked up something in what he did. It kind of changed the series. He was playing decoy, and you know, we thinking our game plan is shutting them down. And then he looks over at the bench and then gives them the nod. And the nod ended up subbing Ilgauskas out. We subbed out Brendan Haywood. And when Brendan Haywood subbed out, LeBron James attacked that basket.
Once again, James on a post-up, up fake.
But why I fall in love with it is, he decoyed to give everybody else a chance to get involved into the game before he took over. And I just thought that was just like special because as soon as I got on the court, I didn't care who was on the court, I'm chucking.
Arenas from way downtown.
I'm shooting, I'm trying to be aggressive. Knowing that he needed these players throughout this game, he let them eat during moments of the game while he took a back seat. It took the whole summer to understand what he was doing and realize that was brilliant. To decoy yourself, to get everybody involved, get everyone plays, then you take over, then decoy again, the decoy. Then I realized we never actually guarded this guy. When he wasn't scoring, it was him decoying. He could have scored 70 against us. He could score 70 against everybody else. So what ends up happening is when you actually think you're guarding LeBron, you're actually not guarding LeBron. He's just in decoy mode, letting everybody else get a feel for the game. And that's when I was like, okay, I like this guy. From, year 17, 18 to year 1, what set LeBron apart was, his IQ, was his ability to adapt, ability to read. That's what we didn't understand when we was first matching up in the playoffs against him, how smart he really was. So there were times where we're leaving a certain guy open, knowing that no one in their right mind will pass it to him, which he would.
Good defense there, but no look inside to Williams, and he let it in, and he's fouled.
And the outcome was great. His film breakdown, where I'm watching him at home, I understood he understood the game very well, but I didn't understand and didn't realize then he's willing to sacrifice his name, his integrity of, being bashed to make the right play.
And right back in the hands of LeBron James. Here's your trap. They get it out of his hands. Hughes, Damon Jones puts it in with 4.8 remaining.
Damon Jones didn't play Game 5, nor Game 6 comes in for the last, 20 seconds of the game. We're gonna leave Damon, he's not gonna pass to Damon Jones. Damon Jones hasn't shot the ball in 2 games, and he actually makes that pass, which shows that he believes in his teammates, which gives them the sense that we believe in ourselves too. Jordan would have just averaged 60 and said to hell with it. He wouldn't have still gave the ball to J.R. Smith after J.R. Smith done did what J.R. Smith has done. But because he still believes in his teammates, they still believe in themselves too during crucial time. And that's what makes LeBron the GOAT. I think that we were spoiled by Jordan.
Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead.
The grace he brought to the game, his fierceness, the way he ended games. And when Kobe came, we seen Jordan-like. So what ends up happening is when you have a player like LeBron who comes into the game, who doesn't have the instincts of Jordan and Kobe, they're gonna take that last shot no matter what. We feel that if you're the best player, you're the star. You're compared to Jordan and Kobe, you should be Jordan and Kobe-like, which is not necessarily correct. Jordan and Kobe possessed something LeBron didn't have, which was a first step, which made them one-on-one players. LeBron came in as Magic Johnson, meaning his vision is his key. As someone who loved Michael Jordan and Kobe, we get mad and we want to knock him because he's using his vision when we allow them to use their one-on-one skill to finish plays. It's unfair to say you can use your one-on-one skills, but you can't use your gift. You can't use your vision. You can't see the open man. You're supposed to chuck the shot up, and if it goes in, we're gonna cheer you on. If you miss it, we're gonna say, he don't have it. No, this is what makes him great. The ability to see the open guy if he's not the open guy. Just like Jordan made himself the open guy. But we didn't knock him when he passed it to Steve Kerr. He didn't pass it to him knowing he was gonna make the shot. He passed it to him hoping he would make that shit.
Set a screen, James goes the other way, drives down the lane, back out to Green. Green for 3, off the mark, no good.
So you have Morris and Holt running off of AD for decoy, and then Anthony Davis, a down screen for LeBron coming up for the ball. Now you have LeBron and Jimmy Butler's guarding him. I'm pretty sure Danny Green was supposed to actually set a pick so Duncan Robinson can switch on him. So LeBron James has to react. Now, pause right now. Now, this is very important to viewers at home. I'm laughing because it's just a horrible look at this point. You have a corner shooter in Twin who has his hands on his knees. I don't know if he's tired. I don't know if he's I don't know what he's doing, but he's not actually ready to shoot. So when people at home are judging LeBron off of his decision, you have to look at it all as it plays out. You have the Twin, hands on his knees, not ready to shoot, can't pass at him. You have Crowder, who actually interrupts LeBron's shot here. So the fact that he actually digs for the ball kind of throws off LeBron's shot attempt. Now, I'm pretty sure if you're a LeBron's fan, you've actually never seen LeBron go go right and actually do a running. He's never done a floater. He's never really been a floating type of guy. So what ends up happening is the dig by Crowder kind of throws off of his rhythm. So if he would have actually took this shot, I'm pretty sure it would have been 12%, which the actual play now is back to Danny Green. So me saying that, yo, I wouldn't have passed it, I wouldn't have, but I wouldn't have put myself in this situation in the first place. So for us to actually say what LeBron did is a bad decision, I would have took it. If you pause it right here and look at the pass he made, if Danny Green makes this shot, LeBron made the best decision that he could ever have made, which is the only decision he was supposed to make. He's watching film on top of film on top of film. What most people do in the playoffs, he does every single game. So he knows the ins and outs of all your plays, where you're supposed to be, where you don't supposed to be. You know, when you try to trick him by calling a play, he's gonna pick up on it and say, that's not one of their plays, and tell you where you're supposed to be. I understood that when I was at his house watching him watch our play. And because I'm a gray area player, I knew, well, he's gonna know every single play it's supposed to be. So therefore, for us to, have a one-up on him, we have to go off script sometimes. If you don't understand the game and film and breakdown, you're gonna go into the game behind in LeBron's mind.
James on the drive.
And there you have it. That was the breakdown. This is Gilbert Arenas on Whistle Sports.
Nah, y'all seen Undisputed, Lil Wayne on there, right? I ain't really check it out yet. I'm about to check it out for real. Like I said, I've been moving and grooving, but y'all see the first one, this shit was horrible. Y'all think Michael Irvin coming back? I don't think Michael Irvin coming back. And I'm finna show y'all why Michael Irvin probably don't come back. You feel me? Check out the new Undisputed. Well, not the remix. They remixed the shit with Lil Wayne, but check out the first episode. Skip probably shitted on this.
You watch their games, but we don't have time because you guys talk too much.
Okay, so if nobody else is starting but Dak, then what are we? I'm sorry, I hadn't been on TV in a while. I don't mean to take over nothing.
The day that we've all been waiting for, at least one of the dates we've all been waiting for those of us that have been following this saga, officially came and went. Skip Bayless's first Undisputed show without Shannon Sharpe officially went live. And it was an unmitigated disaster. So we're gonna break it all down, man. Before we get to the content, we're still giving away Madden codes on my Instagram story and on my Snapchat. All you have to do to enter is follow me there. And now that we get all that out of the way, work! This is pretty much free money. We only need to correctly pick 2 squares to 3x our money on Prize Picks. And to celebrate the NFL season kicking off, Prize Picks is giving us a free square. All Dak Prescott needs is 1 passing yard in order to fulfill his square. So you combine that with Travis Kelce, who only needs 1 receiving touchdown, and in my opinion, this is a guaranteed win in our books. I don't care if you're the biggest Cowboy hater on earth, Dak Prescott will get 1 passing yard. And we all know Travis Kelce is definitely going to get 1 receiving touchdown. And if you haven't signed up for Prize Picks yet, you could match your initial deposit by using my promo code microphone when you sign up. That's promo code microphone when you sign up for Prize Picks, or just click on the link in the description down below. And thank you, Prize Picks, for the sponsor. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? A little bit over 2 months ago, Shannon Sharpe put Skip Bayless in a very tough situation, abruptly agreeing to a buyout with Fox Sports 1 and officially giving his 2 weeks notice, or for whenever the NBA Finals concluded. Upon the conclusion of the NBA Finals, Skip Bayless was on his own. He had no time to find a brand new partner. Of course, they teased brand new partners at first, people like LaShawn McCoy, which garnered a negative reception from most of the public, including from individuals like myself, was the first person to be teased. And as Shannon Sharpe was slowly teasing his return, Skip Bayless was cycling through potential candidate after potential candidate, asking for people like Charles Barkley before requesting Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman liked the idea because, to be honest, I think this could be the move that catapults Richard Sherman's career. But the thing about Richard Sherman is he only agreed to do about 100 shows with Skip Bayless. Bear in mind, at least my personal theory as to why Shannon Sharpe left to begin with was because he felt overworked. He had to wake up Monday through Friday at like 4 in the morning, do his morning routine, drive all the way to Fox Studios, grab a cup of coffee, and debate with Skip Bayless for the entirety of Undisputed. That's very tasking to do, especially when you have other interests. Shannon Sharpe engages in bodybuilding. I would know because we actually saw him on Saturday. My brother actually had the courage to congratulate him on his brand new move. And Shannon Sharpe said to him, and I quote,
"Thanks, bruh."
My brother would tell him, "Have a great day." And Shannon Sharpe would respond by saying,
"Now you do the same."
Yes, I know, breaking news. Nationally known sports analysts. They're just like us. Who would have thought? But on top of Shannon Sharpe's bodybuilding pursuits, what he does on day-to-day sports shows, and his own online podcast, Club Shay, obviously, as he's getting older, he was feeling a little bit burnt out, and I feel like that's why he inevitably left. Shannon Sharpe would announce that he is joining The Volume in this clip.
Do you have good news for me? You're smiling.
I have great news for you. We're in business together, bro. I've decided to bring Club Shay over and partner with you. When we first started, you said, hey, give me an opportunity, hear what everybody else has to say. And I listened to everybody, but I felt The Volume was the best place for me.
And in order to keep up nationally televised sports show appearances, he would appear on First Take twice a week. But what about Skip Bayless? Well, Skip Bayless decided that he wasn't only going to bring on Richard Sherman for 100 shows a year, he was also going to bring on Lil Wayne to debate him about sports each and every Friday, which, by the way, Lil Wayne made a brand new intro for Undisputed that I think is significantly better. I might be biased. I'll post it onto my X account, Twitter account, @MicrophoneNFL, because, well, we can't post it here for copyright reasons, but I think it's significantly better. A link to that's in the description down below. But as time would go on, Skip Bayless would announce additional partners, most recently agreeing to a deal to bring on Keyshawn Johnson the moment Keyshawn Johnson agreed to a buyout with ESPN, and Michael Irvin. Now, this is a great cast, in my opinion, and I said in my last video, considering the situation that Skip Bayless was placed in, this is a remarkable cast. Yes, it's a little bit heavy on the football side, although he is bringing in Rachel Nichols. I guess Rachel Nichols is going to have more of a presence on the show as a result of that. I'm sure that if Shannon Sharpe was able to figure out how to debate with Skip Bayless about basketball, well, no, not really about basketball, about LeBron James each and every day, it shouldn't take Richard Sherman, Keyshawn Johnson, and Michael Irvin very long to do the same. But all in all, I felt like this was a great opportunity for Michael Irvin to become an even bigger superstar than he was on First Take, because I personally believe that Michael Irvin and Skip Bayless could hold it down, just them two. I felt like any of the individuals that Skip Bayless brought on was good enough for a one-on-one debate. Now, that's the key term here. They're good for one-on-one debates. That's not how the show went. The very first episode was introduced very similarly to how Skip Bayless introduced Shannon Sharpe in 2016. Grab a box of tissues if you guys aren't ready for this reminder. Skip would introduce Shannon this way in 2016.
Thank Shannon Sharpe for joining me here on Undisputed. Hall of Famer, 3-time Super Bowl champion, the greatest trash talker in NFL history. Good luck to you, my friend.
And he would introduce his new show very similarly, praising his brand new co-hosts.
Introduce my dream team. Super Bowl champion with the Seattle Seahawks, most famous member of the all-time great Legion of Boom. He won a Super Bowl with the Bucs in spite of John Gruden. As I've said many times, I believe this man was the greatest receiver ever.
And then eventually the show would begin and we would get our first signature Michael Irvin moment, which is something that I'll never get sick of. Maybe I'm a little biased because I do have a Michael Irvin signed jersey in my office that you can't really see. But I just love the energy that Michael Irvin brings.
How you gonna tell me that's the worst advice? I'm only one of the best to ever do it at playing that
What
game.
I'm saying.
And we even got some gems. I mean, you really got to see each and every personality do what they were known for. Richard Sherman even showed us some of his signature smack talk when he trash talked the playmaker for the way he used to receive the football back when he was playing for the Dallas Cowboys.
Worst advice I've ever heard for a receiver. Don't catch it with your hands, catch it with your body. When you talk about 12 games, interceptions.
So we got some great moments, particularly between Sherman and Irvin. But there is a huge problem throughout this entire episode. It was glaring to everybody that was witnessing this episode, and it was a very ironic one to say the least. Do you remember back in January, when Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe didn't necessarily see eye to eye with one another following the Damar Hamlin incident? I'm sure at this point you guys have seen this clip 100 times, but I'm only going to show you one small part of it, and it was during Shannon Sharpe's opening monologue when he was apologizing for the fact that he missed the show after Skip Bayless's tweet about Damar Hamlin.
Anybody have to be revived and fight for their life on the field. So they struck me a little differently because I remember seeing my brother paralyzed on the field temporarily, and he was able to regain focus. Skip tweeted something, and although I disagree with the tweet, and hopefully Skip would take it down.
And then Skip Bayless did this.
I'm not going to take it down because I stand by what I tweeted.
Skip, let me finish.
All right, okay.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Shannon Sharpe would get frustrated and even call out Skip Bayless for the fact that he can't get through an opening monologue without Skip interrupting him.
Not get into your tweet. That's what I was going to do. But you can't even let me finish my opening monologue without you interrupting.
And well, the very first episode featured a lot of that. You would see over and over again Skip Bayless attempting to speak, but not being able to speak.
If Dak was to get injured, he's been injured in the past.
And if Trey gets his shot,
and if he continues, if nobody else was starting but Dak, then what are we? I'm sorry, I hadn't been on TV in a while. I don't mean to take over nothing.
And this is really interesting considering the fact that this was going down during a topic that Skip Bayless probably had a lot to talk about. Trey Lance getting traded to the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, as a Dallas Cowboy fan, man, I told you guys in that video, the moment that happened, my jaw dropped. I left the gym mid-workout, sprinted home, sweaty as hell to record that video for you guys. I had to do retake after retake after retake because the videos were getting really freaking long. I had so much to say about the Trey Lance trade, and I was really excited about it. So Skip, being a Dallas Cowboy fan, probably had a lot to talk about for the Trey Lance trade, but ironically, he would consistently get cut off by his new co-hosts. And this is where you could say the show was officially a disaster. Because just like we would see with Shannon Sharpe almost a year ago.
You gonna let me talk? Because that's
if you'll stay on point on questions.
You never stay on point.
Okay, I'm about to stay on point.
Skip Bayless would hint how his co-hosts talk way too much. Watch.
You watch their games, but we don't have time because you guys talk too much. I did, yes, you talk too much.
So this is leading to a lot of people calling Skip Bayless the moderator of his own show, and clearly the show's format being an unmitigated disaster. Here's the thing. I didn't think that Undisputed was going to be like this, and I don't think it's going to be like this moving forward. I feel like they tried this format in the very beginning for the first episode, and it looks like they didn't rehearse with one another at all whatsoever. You can tell that Michael Irvin and Keyshawn Johnson are just used to yelling and trying to speak over each other, because I feel like that's what ESPN would tell them to do. And you can tell Skip Bayless is very uncomfortable and unsettled in this environment. So it didn't get off to as good of a start as the Shannon Sharpe era did with Skip Bayless in 2016. So what do I think the answer is here? Well, the answer is really simple. You can't have all four sitting at a table at once. It's gonna have to be a rotation, and you're gonna have to figure out when is appropriate to bring who onto the show. I feel like Keyshawn Johnson and Michael Irvin were added on way too late for them to even have an opportunity to discuss strategy with Skip Bayless. And I feel like in order for this to work out, you really gotta feature each and every one of these individuals one-on-one or maybe one-on-two, and eventually work to the point where all four of them are sitting down and discussing with one another. Because this was just chaotic. They were just yelling over each other. There's also this clip from Stephen A. Smith's podcast where he says that he's not intimidated of the competition at all whatsoever.
I don't give a shit about competition. I live for it. And as far as I'm concerned, let's get it on.
And following this debut episode, I can't really blame him. Do I think this is the end of Undisputed? No, I feel like they just got off to a really shaky start. They didn't catch lightning in a bottle like they did in 2016. It might take some time to build up to that point. Hell, maybe some of these people could get cut. But at the end of the day, bear in mind, Skip Bayless didn't have a lot of time to find a brand new partner, and he did something that I didn't expect. I think all of these guys are incredible personalities. I think Michael Irvin brings great energy. I think Richard Sherman is well-spoken, witty, and comical. I'm kind of meh about Keyshawn Johnson personally, but I appreciated what he did during his time in the NFL and respect his achievements. So we'll have to wait and see what they decide to do moving forward with Undisputed. Let me know what you think the solution is. Do you think Undisputed will ever be the same again? Are you even going to tune in to watch the next episode? I'd like to hear what you have to say. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.
big up all the way, yeah. Thank you so much. You done know. And yes, you get what I'm saying? I like your channel too. I am definitely a fan of you. So keep up what you're doing. Keep pushing and all the best with everything.
And she got a body for sure. The one that you buy at the store. We might have to ride Dior. Like get it and try on some more. We in the spot.